Recession, recession, recession. So it's a word that is spreading around the media like wildfire. But what does this actually mean for the UK property market? So I recently did a video talking about the market crash. When's it going to happen? What's it going to look like? And now that we're hitting the recession, what is it actually meaning for property prices? And are some of the things that I talked about coming to fruition? So let's look at the first thing, the reason why we're going into a recession. So there's a number of reasons why people are no longer spending money. One of them is the rising inflation. We're now hitting almost double digits, and in some ways of calculating it, it already is double digits, which is putting pressure on people's general household. But what is the reason behind that? Is it an issue with money? Well, no, it is not the same as 2008. There is so much money out there in the economy. If you think about the pandemic, people were earning money, they were furloughed, and they weren't spending anything because they were all stuck in their houses. So what that meant is that people were paying off their debts, they were saving. So there are millions of pounds of people's money in bank accounts right now. And because of inflation, it is dramatically dropping in value. So people are wanting to get that out there and do something with it. Or they're keeping it to one side just in case. So they've got that buffer, they've got that cash buffer. But also, we've got the highest employment rate in modern history, which means that there's actually more vacancies out there than people looking for work. So people have got work. Yes, lots of people are wanting pay rises, but this could actually prolong the recession by putting up the costs of producing goods and services, by having wages increase. So it's actually quite important to kind of stay the course and to ride this out, because I don't think this recession is going to last very long. So it's down to supply issues like oil and gas and the knock-on impact that that has on shipping costs, which then has a knock-on impact on the cost of goods like food, which is shooting up. And that then puts the strain back onto people who then not shopping around, they're just focusing on the core essentials and then exacerbating the recession. But this is a key question. Is the recession going to be long-lived? My view right now is that we're in a very similar place to the beginning of the pandemic. We've got a bit of short-lived fear, which is all the talk about, oh, there's going to be a recession, and the media exacerbate this. And what's going to happen is that we're going to go into a recession, which is 2 consecutive quarters of deflation, of contracting economy. And then what we're going to see is that people are going to get bored of it, realise it's not as bad as they thought, and then we'll just start spending again, and the Bank of England, who are currently raising interest rates, will then drop them again, because that's the only reason they're rising them, is so that they've got something to do to be able to encourage people to spend again. Meaning that they get more confidence. If people are thinking that interest rates are coming down again, their mortgages will start to get a little bit cheaper, and they'll feel, yes, okay, we've got a little bit more money, and they will budget accordingly. So fundamentally, what does this mean for property? Well, that's what you want to know. Well, there's still the latent demand, which I talked about in my previous video. There's still so much money wanting to get out there into property. Yes, the increase in property prices has slowed, and that's because of the fear in the market of being a recession and people not really understanding the fundamental economics of the property market. So they think that prices are going to drop. They're maybe holding off on spending. But again, as people realise that the market is continuing to go, which is exactly what happened in the last recession, property prices boomed. So that's exactly what's going to happen here. Property prices are going to continue to boom because there's no real reason why they should drop dramatically. So there's a shortage of property, there's lots of people wanting to buy properties, there's still queues around properties to do viewings. They're going at asking, above asking still, and that may cool off a little bit temporarily, but I think we'll pick back up again towards the end of this year and into 2023. And if we come back to one of the things I mentioned previously, the 18-year property cycle, that predicts that our crash isn't due till about 2026, 2027. And that will be caused by the knock-on impact of what's happening now, but actually property prices are still due to boom. We're still way below that moving average, which is the number that we kind of need to hit and then surpass in order to bring property prices back down. So in summary, the recession, I believe, is going to be short-lived. I believe we're going to have an increase in property values over the next couple of years still. So when's the best time to buy a property is still now, because next year I believe they're still going to be pricier. So it's still a good market in which to buy and then to flip properties. And there's still a good market to be able to buy and rent properties, because rental demand is still through the roof, and that's not going to change anytime soon. So hopefully that video has been of some value. If you like what you've heard, then please comment down below, ask any questions. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons, and I shall see you in the next video.